Hello, everyone. Good evening. Today we are live again with a very special guest, Krusha. This is very important episode of the Growing Professional Show because आज हम बात करने वाले हैं करियर डिसीजंस लेने की because सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट लाइफ डिसीजन होता है आपका करियर डिसीजन इसी पे ही डिपेंड करता है कि आपकी आगे आने वाली जो जिंदगी है आपकी आने वाली जो लाइफ है वो कैसी होने वाली है बिकॉज आप कितना अर्न करोगे आपका फैमिली टाइम कैसा होगा आपका वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस कैसा होगा आप किन लोगों से मिलोगे किन लोगों से नेटवर्क करोगे और आपका लाइफस्टाइल कैसा होगा काफी कुछ डिपेंड करता है कि जो आप करियर डिसीजंस लेते हो राइट एंड करियर आपने जो डिसीजन लिया उसके बाद इंपॉर्टेंट है करियर में ग्रो करते रहना राइट अगर आप एक करियर में आपने एक जॉब ऐसी चुन ली जिसमें ग्रोथ नहीं है और आप ग्रो नहीं कर पा रहे देन आपकी लाइफ बहुत ज्यादा डिफिकल्ट होने वाली है सो इन सभी प्रॉब्लम्स से निकलने के लिए इन सभी के लिए प्रॉपरली प्री प्लानिंग करने के लिए क्या इंपॉर्टेंट स्टेप्स लेने हैं कैसे डिसीजन मेकिंग करनी है इसके लिए मुझे लगा कि एक एक्सपर्ट को बुलाना चाहिए जो आपकी पूरी हेल्प कर सके मेरे साथ है आज कृषा कृषा लिंक्डइन टॉप वॉइस हैं शी इज ऑथर एंड शी इज ए वेरी renowned career coach so let's welcome Krusha on the Growing Professional Show. Hi Krusha, thank you so much
Hi,
for
Ashish.
being here on the Growing Professional Show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great. So Krusha, I'm directly coming on the questions part because काफी बार मैंने देखा है लोग एक करियर डिसीजन लेते हैं एंड दे फील कि उन्होंने अपनी लाइफ को बिल्कुल बर्बाद कर लिया दे ऑप्टेड फॉर अ रॉन्ग स्ट्रीम they are not right fit for the career but what if people are already aware कि कैसे career decision लेना है and they have a strategy then their life could have been much better this is a very important question that I would like if you can answer this question and help a lot of people.
I think question was interesting here because I'll tell you a personal story first to put listeners at ease. Okay, when I started my career per se, I was 19 as a job, but before that, I was studying chartered accountancy. CA. So India में I think अगर you're not taking science and you're a good student. So I was a 90 plus student. So commerce में CA. There was no other choice as such. It was kind of decided. There was no other options. So I studied CA, like, and I was a good student. So jitna I was studying, I was getting the marks. Lekin as soon as I was giving IPCC, which is the second level of CA, I passed whatever papers I gave, but I just didn't sit for the remaining. क्योंकि I knew कि अगर I pass it, then मुझे articleship करना पड़ेगा, and I knew by then कि ये नहीं, this is not what I want to do. Logically, of course, कि you've studied CPT, you've studied IPCC, बहुत tough है pass करना. If you're able to pass it, everybody's advice is pass it and then decide. Degree ले लो and then figure. But I was very clear कि I don't want to spend even 3 साल, like I don't want to even spend 3-4 years more of my life doing something कि जो मुझे पता है कि मुझे नहीं करना है for the rest of my life. So I decided to drop it. Now the reason I'm saying this story is I stopped CA at that point and I was 19 despite passing papers. And then I took up a job in public relations. After that, I did social media. After that, I did my master's in business. Then I have done sales and grown in the same company in sales, management, customer success, and simultaneously done like writing, become a coach. All of that happened throughout. Now, the reason I'm saying this is Purane Zaman mein what used to happen in the generations above us, you had to make a career decision and then you were bound by that career decision for the rest of your life in most cases. So अगर आप decide करते हो कि मैं insurance में काम करने वाली हूँ और I'm going to take a government job or I am going to go into investment banking, it was sort of a lifelong decision. The good news today, and I say it's good news, I know it comes with its cons as well, but I say it's good news that today when you are making a career decision, you don't only make it once in your life if you want. The good news is you get to repeatedly make it. So if I had to say the one thing that people should do to make the right career decision is awareness before action. So this is something I learned as a coach when I got certified as a coach, and then I started working with a lot of people and implemented it on myself also. कि before भागना शुरू करें and we start like working on it, make sure you are aware. So spend some time asking yourself the right questions. I heard आपके introduction में you said very good things like कि जो आप career choose करते हो उसके बाद it impacts the rest of your life. It impacts कि आप दिन में क्या करने वाले हो, what is your work life balance, who are you going to interact with. लेकिन we don't ask ourselves those questions enough because it feels like the time is running out. What we don't realize is if we don't stop and ask ourselves those questions, you started running, like you don't know whether the direction you are running in is what you want. So my first, if I had to give blanket advice, would just be take a minute to spend time in awareness before you move to action. That was a long answer to your question, but I
Very
hope it
interesting.
helped.
Very interesting. And follow-up question is how, like, because as you said, it's important to be aware. What kind of questions somebody should ask? If you can just share three to or five questions in a pointer, okay, at least and analyze yourself on these five
Yeah.
or six parameters, and then take a
Hmm.
decision. So that will make yourself more taking a more aware or informed decision. So if you can just briefly tell that.
Okay. So maybe I'll answer this with an exercise that actually anyone listening can do it. I do this with a lot of my clients, coaching clients. I call it the career pie. So what I say is take a piece of paper, draw a circle. Okay, divide this circle into as many sections as you want that represent what you want your work or your career to give you. And I don't spoon feed what this should be. Now, if you'll see many ready models that say money or recognition, or you'll have a bunch of them. But this actually, if we sit and think about it, can be very different for you and me. We might have some common sections, लेकिन there could be sections हो सकते हैं जो सिर्फ मेरे लिए important है लेकिन आपके लिए important नहीं है, right? तो I say take a piece of paper, draw this, divide it into sections. It doesn't even need to be one word that everybody knows the meaning of. Maybe something, I've had sometimes clients write a phrase कि ऐसा कोई word लिखा है that they want from their career, वो it's not going to be in anybody else's circle, but it's important to you and you didn't even know कि ये चीज मेरे लिए बहुत important है when I'm thinking about my career. Okay, so you draw as many sections. The size of the section does not matter at this point. So if you're doing the exercise, don't worry that it represents something. ये सब पेपर पे डाल दिया. After that, spend some time and understand what each of these sections जो आपने लिखा है, what do they mean? Because same चीज भी different meaning हो सकती है. What I mean by that, money. Okay, common one. आपके सर्कल में मनी लिखा है, मेरे सर्कल में मनी लिखा है. What does money mean to you? What does money mean to me? What is the actual amount of money? And so many other things that come with it. वो अलग हो सकता है, right? So many people say, for me money is important, but what about it is important to you? What does that money mean? और recognition है, recognition का मतलब क्या है आपके लिए, right? So that's the second step you do. You've written down what is important for you. You understand कि हर शब्द का मतलब क्या है, what you've written. Then you prioritize it. Okay. And this is very important again क्योंकि firstly आपके लिए मेरे लिए different हो सकता है, लेकिन मेरे लिए भी आज versus 5 years ago versus 5 years from today अलग हो सकता है. What is important, right? That I need my career to give me. So I prioritize it. Let's say 5 चीजें थी, I will prioritize. ठीक है? Once I have done this, after that, I encourage you from a rating of 0 to 10, rate each of these. Okay, what that means, 0 is the lowest you can be in this section of what this gives you. 10 is the highest. You decide where are you today. So in your career, if you need your career to give you 5 things, and money is one of them, I have to decide right now. I'll say money for me is at a 5 on 10. Okay, just an example. Now again, इसका कोई formula नहीं है because it's what I feel about where I am with that, right? Maybe someone who rated money 8 on 10 is actually making lesser money than someone who rated 5 on 10. Lekin that's what I feel I'm at. So that's the next thing you can do. Rate where you're at and then rate where you want to be, honestly. And it's not about writing 10 everywhere. It's about realistically writing where you want to be in each of those sections. And then, there's a process and you can work with the code, set a timeline, and we go much deeper. But this is the crux of what everybody can start with.
This is a very interesting framework that you have given, and anybody who is listening can easily understand what actually they want. And once they know what they want, then they can make a action plan, or they can find out the career streams that can give what they want actually. And then they can start taking the next steps. Okay, how to figure it out, how to get this kind of job opportunities, what kind of people
Exactly.
who can help them. An important thing, like coming to the next part of it, because in today's era, network plays a very important role in finding the right kind of opportunities. Internet is definitely there. Through internet, Google, we can find, okay, what kind of jobs opportunities are there. But still we need somebody to handhold us, to tell us, okay, what next steps you take. And it's important to find somebody who can really help you out, who has already done that, can help you out in a better way. How to find these kind of people and how to network with them?
That's a really good question. And I think it's again very important to know who you're looking for what reason. Okay, and I'll give a few examples. One part of networking is just surrounding yourself with people that inspire you or people you can learn things from. Okay, now, for example, I'm a multi passionate professional. I make sure I hang out, or, when I say hang out, it's virtually, or even people that I probably don't know me also, but I maybe consume like this podcast, information. Um, and I do that in all categories of where I'm trying to grow. So whether it's coaching, so I'll read more, I'll talk to more, be connected to more coaches, and things like that. Writing, I'll part of a LinkedIn group, as you know, also part of authors, talking to them, part with agents, with people who do deals on movies, etc. Because storytelling, so I want to be inspired. Okay, so that's the first part, which is not you're not having a one-on-one relationship here necessarily, but you are surrounding yourself and putting yourself in rooms with people I believe that inspire you. That I love being in rooms now. No, it wasn't always the case, but now, जहाँ पे people are smarter than you, जहाँ पे people have done more or people are doing different things. You don't need to be the best in every room. You're probably then going to stagnate. तो growth के लिए एक वो है. Okay. Other thing is what you said, which is कि when it comes to you are looking for help, कि आपको मदद चाहिए कि हाउ इधर से मैं कैसे आगे बढ़ूं, राइट, और कहाँ जाऊं, और व्हाट डू आई डू in this case. Again, and this is something I do in my discovery sessions before I take up coaching clients, is I spend 5-10 minutes really making sure that the person I'm talking to knows what they're signing up for, क्योंकि ये words ना interchangeably use होते हैं, coaching, consulting, mentoring, therapy, but meaning actually बहुत अलग है. So in this case I say stop, ask yourself, मुझे किस चीज में मदद चाहिए. Am
Right.
I going through a really dark phase and something has happened, or that chemical need, I need a therapist or a counselor, right? That's different. Then am I looking for a mentor? Am I looking for someone जो मैं करना चाहती हूँ उसने किया है already, and I
Right.
know जो मुझे करना है. In this
Right.
case I am just looking के, and this you can find खुद के office में, or in your setting के someone who is basically years ahead of you, लेकिन
Right.
कोई काम किया है whatever, and you want to reach out to this person for guidance, right? That
Right.
is mentoring. Then another example in what I do in coaching, and that's why I explain this difference. कि coaching में your coach ideally, if they're doing it right, is never supposed to tell you कि आपको क्या करना चाहिए. So if you come into a coaching session and you tell me कि मुझे बहुत confusion है अभी, I have these three options or I don't have any options, or I'm in this place, I have to make a decision between these two options, I don't know what to do. As a coach in the coaching profession, I'm not supposed to tell you what to do. I have to ask you the right question, make you do these kind of exercises ताकि आप खुद अपना answer find करें. Right? Now, again, this approach is different, and that's why it's important, because if I am looking for a mentor and I get into a coaching session, so imagine how frustrating it can be. आप सोचोगे for the first 20 minutes कि मुझे तो आंसर चाहिए कि आपने क्या किया, और आप मुझे क्वेश्चन पे क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे
Question
हो
by
कि
question.
मुझे सोचना है, right? Which is
Right.
why I spend these 5-10 minutes before someone even invests in a session. You know
Right.
what you're signing up for. Okay,
Right.
this is the process. We will go
Right.
deep. We will push you in that place. आपको mentor चाहिए जो आपको answer दे, तो वो आप दूसरी जगह
No
ढूंढिए.
such
So
a
that is
right.
my advice there.
Very interesting. Very interesting. And this is very like you just thought provoking because लोगों को पता ही नहीं होता कि what they actually want. So before you want to go ahead, पहले खुद analyze करो what exactly you want and then take a next step. Very important. So career, हम जैसे careers की बात कर रहे हैं and we are talking about how to go ahead, how to start. Once somebody has discovered, okay, this is something that I really want, they start. And as we were saying, in some time people start feeling stagnant. अभी हमारी ग्रोथ नहीं हो रही and we want to grow but we are not able to grow. So how to understand, okay, whether I am on a right path or whether I'm not in a wrong place, or if I am doing something wrong. Look, there could be two ways, whether you are doing something wrong or whether you are at a right not at a right place. So how to discover that and how to grow in the career? Because if somebody stays, like मैं अपने पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस से बोलूँ तो दो चीजें होती हैं, या तो अगर आप किसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में बहुत लंबे टाइम तक रहते हो, देन यू ग्रो एक्सपोनेंशियली एंड यू विल, आपके जो सात लोग थे वो छोड़ के गए हैं एंड दे विल नॉट रियलाइज, अरे ये तो एक एग्जीक्यूटिव था, नाउ इज द वीपी इन द
Yeah.
सेम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. और या फिर लोग जो बहुत लाइक टाइम टू टाइम स्विच करते हैं वो बहुत ज्यादा ग्रो करते हैं. तो व्हाट are the, you can say, that criteria, or from your experience, how to discover whether I'm on a right track or not?
It's a very good question, and I say that because this is my opinion, and everyone obviously, ये right है कि wrong है, I don't know. But in my opinion and in my experience, I feel again that अगर कुछ गलत है, if you are not satisfied, if it's not, and there's a difference. I'm taking a minute to explain this because there's a difference between you are in the right path, लेकिन time लगता है, or it's challenging, versus you are in a situation जहाँ you are either bored or you are burnt out or you are like something is missing, right? And they can get confused. That's why I explain the difference for a second. So my suggestion is, if something is wrong, if you are not on the right track, for that again, first the awareness of what is the right track, right? You said VP, you said for example titles, right? Like how you grow in the same company. Now for one person that might be very important, for another person that doesn't matter. Like for me, it doesn't matter. It genuinely doesn't matter for me in my career. What I am doing in the day, and if I'm fulfilled and my pie is getting filled, I'm happy, right? And if that pie is not getting filled, then I know कुछ तो change करना पड़ेगा. Because and it can be anything. I'm not saying that money doesn't matter or this doesn't matter. It can be anything. Maybe the money part is not getting fulfilled. Yeah, फिर recognition is not happening, or this anything that matters to me is not happening. Then I know something needs to shift. So my first step will again be, the first thing you need to know is know your pie. Because if you know your pie, then you will know when something is not fulfilled, and you will be able to pinpoint if you spend time and awareness and say, this is why I'm feeling like this, right? Or fear, it's that decision, okay, if money is the problem, again, there can be countless ways to go from there, right? Is it that it's a temporary thing and you can see it's just the challenging curve that you're getting past and it's worth it? Or it can be, maybe I'm fulfilling other things, like, and I need to make a change because jo main kar raha hu, it's helping me fulfill this part of my creativity, like, and it's not helping this bucket. So there's a change that needs to be made. Now, is the change within the company? Is the change a complete job industry change? Is the change starting something on the side? Can be anything, and you have to go deeper, right? Like in my first answer will be that only you will feel it. Firstly, make sure you don't ignore the feeling because we do that a lot, and most people will do it at least for a bit. That is ठीक है वो same day पे you won't get to know, लेकिन if it's consistently happening, so be aware, don't ignore it, and then come back to the plan, and then create a plan, and again that plan can look different depending on practical circumstances.
So this was actually my next question: how to figure it when somebody has figured out, okay, now it's a time to make a change, right? So what will be the steps forward? Because sometimes what happens is people in a heat of moment just they just put the resign and then they regret, oh, मैंने गलती करी, right? And they're not able to find the right kind of opportunities at that moment of time. Or sometimes people resign in a proper way. They find a company and they join and then realize, oh, I have made a mistake. इससे अच्छा तो मेरा पुराना organization था. And because it's a probability of 50-50, your next move could go right and your next move could go worst as well. So how to plan it in a proper way that okay, because this is a decision that you are going to make, should be in
Yeah.
your favor. So कुछ ऐसा criteria, कुछ ऐसे pointers, maybe I'm asking some like very like unconventional questions from you.
So it's an interesting conversation. I think पहले तो in terms of what is the decisions that you are going to make, so you want to change, don't follow a blanket approach. So we spoke about LinkedIn. You will go sometimes, you will see a post about someone, yeah, I quit my job, then I found this, then I grew this much income, then this happened, which is great, right? But it's not a blanket approach. So it's not that, okay, it's very different. So what my answer is going to be first is that again, आपके और मेरे लिए can be very different. One, by personality, how risk averse are you? Are you comfortable with risk? How comfortable are you with risk? Right? Second, what is your situation? We all don't have the same situation. Privilege is there, it exists. How much privilege do we have, or what has the past been? Do we have responsibilities? What age are you? Do you have kids? Do you have aging parents? Do you have a bank balance that can survive for whatever? There are the practical questions also that come in, right? So first is figuring out where do I stand as a personality plus as my situation. Then my advice would be to go to the plan, to go to that pie. What am I looking for? What is missing? So, what am I trying to replace? And my belief is you can, through these questions, set yourself up for a higher chance of success. Okay? So, questions such as, if you have figured out through these coaching, through the pie, etc., that okay, this is in a way the direction I want to now go at. Now, what is the pace I can go? I quit and leave today, or I have a 1 year plan. Right? It can be either. Questions like, what are the skills I already have that are going to come in use? What is the skill gap now? Do I need to pick up a skill? Can I do it while I'm doing what I'm doing? Do I need to just fully throw myself in this? Right? There's no right answer, but these are questions. What are the resources I need? Is your plan that you're going to do forward? Is it entrepreneurship? Do you need capital, or is it just about you starting? Is it, is there an investment required? Do I do this alone? Do I need any other people, services? So there's a lot of these questions, and this is what my point was, that asking yourself the right questions or having someone ask you the right questions will keep taking you deeper to make this decision. Now, whether you should leave your job on day one and start this, or whether you have a 1-2 year plan that slowly, gradually grows, depends on all of us. So then again, there's no right or wrong way to do it. You have to but answer all these questions. Where do I stand in this thing?
This is actually a standard framework that you have given. If somebody is looking for a career change, first ask all these questions that Krusha has mentioned. Ask the questions and then decide, okay, whether this is the right time and the opportunity is right for you. So, Krusha, the
And
session was.
actually, career change also, just on what you said, that's why it's so important. We see career change very broadly, right? I have clients who आएंगे जो they don't know what they want next. They just know कि कुछ तो missing है. So that's going to take some time to figure. As opposed to you are at a place saying मुझे पता है अभी, this is what I want next. I just need to figure how to get there.
Right.
or what approach to use. So again, you can be at different stages of a career change.
Right. Absolutely, because this is something very thought provoking for me as well. It's not like you one cannot consider as a broad term. Okay, I want to change in career, but what stage you are, whether you have started feeling it. Okay, I need to change, but why you have started feeling in this way? This is also very
Exactly.
important. This is very important, and then the pie system that you have shared with us, the pie method. So make your pie and then decide. Okay, what is missing, and whenever you are searching for a new opportunity, check whether that job is fulfilling your pie or not. If that is
Exactly.
not fulfilling, then better stay
Others
here
are
and
just jumping.
jump in. So this is very important, like learning that I believe like all the audience who will watch this can learn from this session, and this will be very crucial for you to make a right career decision. So this is a very simple practice that Krusha has shared, and probably everybody have a piece of paper and pen. So
Yeah, and if you do it, please
it
send it to
doesn't.
me. I would love to see everyone's pie
Yes,
charts or career
it
pies.
doesn't. Absolutely, it doesn't cost you a single extra penny. So make the pie chart, do this exercise, and reach out to Krusha if you need any support, because she is a you would have now realized that she has very innovative methods to help you decide your next career move. So I will share Krusha's LinkedIn ID in the description section. You can reach out to her through LinkedIn, and she is LinkedIn top voice. So you will also get a lot of things about LinkedIn, how to grow on LinkedIn as well, because that is also very important in growing in the career. So thank you so much, Krishna, for spending this much time with me and answering these very important questions. I really loved the conversation.
Thank you, Ashish. Likewise, I didn't realize where the time went. Thank you so much for having me, and I hope it helped somebody.
Definitely, definitely. So if you have yet not subscribed the channel, do subscribe the channel, like the video, and do share the comments. What was the aha moment for you in the conversation? आपको कौन सा moment, कौन सा tips जो है सबसे अच्छा लगा, वो हमें comment करके बताओ. आपके कुछ questions है, you can also write the questions in the comment section. So I will share those questions with Krusha, and Krusha LinkedIn पे उनके answers post करेंगे. तो आप Krusha को वहाँ जाके follow कर सकते हो. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Krusha. Thank you so much, audience, for joining in.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.